All right, Ursuline High School. I'm here with Mr. Ray Mancini and then Hayden Lopez. So, Ray, how did it feel winning your first fight compared to winning your last fight?
Well, a victory is the greatest feeling. So whether it's the first, or last, or in between, it's always a great moment because each fight is a separate thing, and you go into each fight not knowing what's going to happen and with anxiety and all of that type of energy. So when you come out victorious, it's just the greatest feeling in the world. It's nothing compares with that.
Okay. And then with your wins, what's your favorite venue that you've ever fought at?
Well, for me, look, Youngstown was always home, of course, fighting here. When I defended my title for the first time at Warren Packard Mollenkopf Stadium, July 24th, 1982. That was the greatest feeling in the world to see all those people come out for me. But for me, every little leaguer dreams of playing at Yankee Stadium. Every fighter dreams of fighting at Madison Square Garden. So for me, to defend my title, September 15th, 1983, at Madison Square Garden, the mecca of boxing, I defended against the South American champion from Peru, Orlando Romero, and that's the same ring that my father fought in 40 years before. Wow. So that was the one thing. They never changed the ring. It was the same ring they've had forever. So that was a very emotional feeling. And then when I won I knocked him out in the 9th round, it was one of the greatest moments of my life. Defending my title, I should say, at Madison Square Garden. It's an all-time high.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then with that, what advice do you have for Hayden and then any other boxer who's aspiring to continue their career?
Well, me and Hayden were talking earlier, and what I was saying is, when you always, when you go into a fight, people always say, "Were you ever nervous before a fight?" I was nervous every fight. I wasn't scared. There's a difference. Fear. I was telling Hayden, the hero and the coward face fear the same. When you go in the ring, the hero and the coward face fear the same. It's what you do with it that makes you the hero or the coward. In other words, if you use it for energy, it keeps you sharp, keeps you on guard. It keeps you alert. If you let it overcome you, if you let it overwhelm you, you succumb to it, then that's fear. And you give in to it, and then that's when you have nothing. You're drained. So you got to use it for energy, the right type of energy, keep you sharp. Don't let it overcome you. And that's the difference. Look, you want to feel nervous, but you don't want to feel fear. You have to let channel that out, flush it out, and you want to keep you sharp. So, but when they say fighters aren't nervous, he wasn't nervous. He's a liar. Every fighter's nervous. You want to be nervous. You got to have that feeling. It's like like I said, keeps you sharp, keeps you on guard.
Inspiring words. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me. The first Rocky was a classic. But here's the thing. If you ever watch it now, which I do, right? You see the first one. The writing's bad, terrible. Acting's terrible. No, really. It was a low-budget movie. Acting's terrible. The production value was not very good at all. But yet, the story was an intriguing story for that time. And as soon as you hear that music, dun, 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 Rocky! It just takes you away. You get involved. You get sucked into it. And it's an all-time classic. So the first one was great. The second one was good. The third one's after that. I haven't watched the fourth and fifth. They're cartoons for me. After that, Creed 1 was good. Now I've been seeing the latest Creed, which my sons have, and they said it's very good. So I heard Michael B. Jordan did a heck of a job. But I think when it started out, the whole idea of the underdog winning out, that was the whole idea. Now, I think that type of storyline never gets old, never. So, but the first one, like I said, is classic. I was 1976 when it first came out. I was a sophomore in high school when it first came out, and so it's funny because people say, "Hey, wasn't Rocky written for you after you?" I go, "It was a little before me." No, it wasn't written for me. It was a little before me. Yeah, but it's a great story. But it's not just boxing. People don't understand. Boxing is a metaphor for life. Every cliche that you hear, you take it on the chin. You gotta learn how to take it on the chin. You gotta roll with the punches. If you get knocked down, you gotta learn how to get back up. That's life, right? So that's boxing too. And I always say, when they would say, when you win in boxing, when you win with the world. When you lose alone. there ain't no group. There's no more naked athlete than the fighter. When you get in there, it's you. Don't get nervous now. Use this. When you get in there, it's you. But that's why I chose boxing. I don't want to depend on nobody else but myself. Mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, every which way. And so when you succeed, it's the greatest feeling in the world. And when you don't, it hurts. You mourn, but then you move on. And boxing helped make me the man I am.
I'm joined by Mr. Reardon. Which Rocky movie is your favorite?
Oh, good question. Okay, so first of all, Rocky 1 won Best Picture of the Year. So it has to be in the conversation, even though it's old, the oldest. Probably Rocky 3 is probably my favorite, though.
Creed 2 with Ivan Drago's son.
That's a good one. Michael, what's your favorite Rocky movie?
I like the.
Do you know the Rocky movies, right?
A little bit.
What about Creed? No? Do you know who Boom Boom Mancini is?
No.
What's your favorite Rocky movie?
First one.
First one?
First one.
Have you watched all of them?
No.
Have you watched any of them?
No.
Thanks.